Hello everyone, this is my book talk presentation. So the book that I have chosen is Separate is Never Equal by Duncan Tonataya. And it is a biography. So a biography is a story that recounts the life of a real person or real persons. So the Mendez family, the main characters of this book, were a real family that lived in the 1940s. And then a biography also recounts the contributions and events made by a real person or persons. So the Mendez fought for equal education for their children, so in the Mendez versus Westminster case, and it ended the segregation of Hispanics in education in 1947. So this is a topic close to my heart. And so I'm going to go ahead and read an excerpt for you guys, but some preface. Sylvia is the main character of the story, Sylvia Mendez. She was about 9 years old whenever she tried going to this I would say it was an all-white school, and it was taken care of. It was ran very well. There was very good educators there. However, she was told by not the president, the principal of the school, that she was not allowed to go there. So in this portion of the story, she went home and told her father, and here's what happened next. So when they arrived home, Aunt Soledad, Sylvia's aunt, told Sylvia's father what had happened. Mr. Mendez told her not to worry. It had been a mistake. He would take care of it. He was a businessman, and he was used to dealing with people. The next day, Mr. Mendez met with Mr. Harris, the superintendent of Westminster School. Mr. Mendez explained that his family had just moved to a nearby farm. The public school on 17th Street is the closest school to our house, and my children should attend it, which is Westminster School. Your children have to go to the Mexican school, said Mr. Harris. So here's the illustration for that right there. But why? Asked Mr. Mendez. He was not given an answer other than, that is how it's done. In the following days, Mr. Mendez met with Mr. Atkinson, the county superintendent, Mr. Harris's superior, and then with the school board, which oversaw all of the schools in Orange County. But they all said the same thing. Your children have to go to the Mexican school. But why? Mr. Mendez kept asking. No one would give him a satisfactory answer. I love the art in this book too. Right there. Okie dokie. So getting into my instructional strategy, was writing composition. So I decided to take those words from the story that was said by Mr. Atkinson. That is how it's done. For the children, the Hispanic children, to go to the Mexican Hispanic school, and not to be integrated into the white and very much funded Westminster School. So I went ahead and, like I said, had writing composition. So my composition is called Read and Reflect. So the students are going to be given the essential question. They're going to be given the essential question. Is it okay for something to continue if it's just the way it is done? Just like Mr. Atkinson said. So the students are going to do a free write about that question, and we're just going to see what ideas they are given. Next, we are going to read and analyze the writing, and look at the themes of segregation, injustice, and the fight for justice in the school. Next, they are going to create a claim to the essential question, and then they are going to find some evidence to support their claim, so at least two. They will then write a rough draft and then have time to revise with their peers and compose a final draft in response to the essential question. And so the students are going to read through Separate is Never Equal, and here are some of the questions that I thought would be important. Why do you think the boy yelled mean things at Sylvia? And then, as I said, there is English and Spanish. So trenzas are braids, but it'll be used within context, like they'll use their context clues to figure out what that means. And another pretty good question is How did Aunt Soledad respond to the secretary? What would you do? And then talk about their responses. Next, they're going to, as I said, they are going to visit their essential question and give a claim as to, or to the thing, to the saying of, it's just the way it's done. So they're going to choose 2 quotes from the book to, on why they feel, however they feel. Okay, and then next they are going to make that a cohesive essay and connect all their ideas with the help of a teacher. And this is for later 3rd grade or advanced 3rd graders and 4th graders. So next they are going to have time to revise with each other and go over their essays, and I would recommend having anchor charts so that way the students know they need capital letters, punctuation, and quotation marks around their cited evidence. And then after going through their revisions, they are then going to compose a final draft to the question, is it okay for something to continue if it is just the way it's done? And then I wrote a brief outline of how I would like the teacher to say. So, as we have learned about segregation of the Hispanic community, we have seen that it is viewed as a normal thing or just the way it was done. Through our writing, I have seen that we have a rebuttal to that statement. So within those claims and evidence, we have found that segregation was unfair. We will find that segregation should not be the way it is, and we can be glad to know we do not experience or inflict that in our school, and it is legal everywhere else in the 50 states, all thanks to Sylvia Mendez and her family. So I encourage this, you as a teacher will encourage the students to question when reading other books and writing down their thoughts and opinions. Overall, this is a writing composition, and you want to encourage your students to do that in the future. So having them think of these harder questions and seeing why they can't answer them and looking to the text for evidence will really help them in the future. Alrighty, and then, so was this exercise engaging for your students? I believe it was. They really enjoyed looking at the art within the book, which is Mexican-inspired art. And then my students enjoy critiquing each other. So they really enjoyed, going through each other's essays. And did your exercise help the students comprehend the text? Yes, because they had to find evidence, and we talked about why their claims were the way that they were, and we looked at the emotions of each character and put ourselves in their place if those words were spoken to us. And would I implement this exercise again? I do. I love writing, so I would implement this exercise again. I think that I structured it in a very smooth but predictable way, and so I think the students would really enjoy it. And then if so, will I adapt this exercise? I would just adapt it to different pieces of literature. I think that talking about the segregation of all communities is really important, so I would make this, I would adapt this to other cultures as well. Alrighty, and then that was my book talk. Thank you so much. And then I did also want to share, if anybody was interested in using these books, the teaching materials that are great at the end. It shows primary resources, as we have been talking about in social studies. So it shows Sylvia Mendez whenever she was little, and now in 2011 when she received the Medal of Freedom. And then it shows the real life Mr. Mendez and Senora Mendez. And then it also shows pictures of Westminster School and then the Mexican school. It also has a couple ideas for teaching and a couple of resources that you can go to, like interviews, films, and other books about the Mendez case. But okay, that's all. I just wanted to share that also with you guys. All right, thank you. Bye.